Hi, it's John, and welcome to the channel. It is 4:50 a.m. on Friday, February the 28th, with the big blue mug of coffee. Hope you're having a great day today. And I never thought I'd be talking about this topic this morning, and it's disgusting. I think the Liberals are injecting race into the election campaign. It's the only way I can look at this. And why am I saying this? Because of this article I saw on Juno News. Trudeau government releases implementation plan for Black Justice Strategy. The Trudeau government has released its plan to implement the Black Justice Strategy, an initiative the government hopes will address systemic racism. Now, where does this all come from? This is the first I've read about this. I don't know whether you've seen it anywhere else. Well, this goes back to 2021. This is the Liberal webpage, and this is from their 2021 platform. Black Canadians' Justice Strategy. Anti-Black racism and discrimination are a reality in Canada. This is what the Liberals think of you. And they are acutely felt in Canada's policing and criminal justice system. Black Canadians are significantly overrepresented in the federal prison system, accounting for 7.3% of the prison population when they represent only 3.5% of the greater population. More on that in just a moment. The work of grassroots organizations like Black Lives Matter, Marxist organization, have raised their voices to bring global attention to this issue. Systemic racism, discrimination, and violence against Black Canadians will persist as long as inequality is not called out and addressed. Now, just a couple of days ago, and if you look down here at the bottom, they always put the date on. This is directly from the Canada website. This is from the 25th of this month. Here it is. And this is their strategy, and they're in the implementation phase right now. Black communities continue to live with the effects of prejudice, discrimination, and hatred from unconscious bias. Now, how woke is that? And this is what you're going to get more of if you vote Liberal. And this is going to go through the roof. To anti-Black hate crimes and violence. The 2017 report of the United Nations Working Group for People of African Descent. Why are we still in the United Nations? On its mission to Canada, highlighted the historical entrenchment of anti-Black racism in Canadian institutions and policies so that it is, quote, functionally normalized or rendered invisible, especially to the dominant group, unquote. Who is the dominant group? That's white people. Let's take a look at something. The Charter of Rights and Freedoms, I've said many times, is not worth using as toilet paper, as long as it has Section 1. Section 1 allows the government to take away your rights, and that's what they did during the trucker convoy. But this is Section 15. Every individual is equal before and under the law. Well, with this new Black Justice Strategy, that's no longer the case in Canada. Let me go through a little bit of this Juno News article, not the whole thing. Let me just roll down here. Some of the recommendations in the report include cutting incarceration rates of Black and Indigenous Canadians by 50%. Now, they don't say cutting crime by 50%, which, by the way, is one of the things Pierre Poilievre is talking about a lot. The crime rate in Canada is too high. They do not talk about cutting crime in Canada. They talk about cutting incarceration rates of Black and Indigenous Canadians by 50%. That means people who commit crimes aren't going to go to jail as much because of their skin color. That's racism, folks. And that's what the Liberal Party is injecting into our government and into law and into an election campaign. Expanding the use of impact of race and culture assessments, the legalization of hard drugs, something again Poilievre has talked about, and increasing the minimum wage to $21 per hour. The implementation plan outlines how the federal government will be spending the $78 million allocated to implementing some of the Black Justice Strategy's recommendations over the next 2 years. Now, I want to go to another article. Now, this is from last July when they first told people about this Black Justice Strategy. Now, this goes back to July 18th. National Post, Jamie Sarkanak, expect more injustice from the Liberals' forthcoming Black Justice Strategy. So let's go down here and read a little bit of this article. These measures, numbering 114 in total, were recommended to the federal government by a steering group at the end of June to shape the Liberal government's forthcoming Black Justice Strategy, an initiative that will be sure to promote disorder and advance the well-being of a select few if the guiding material is any indication. Scrolling down here, the report's authors go on to suggest more employment programs for their particular in-group Prioritization for housing, inclusion in all provincial school curriculums, addition of specialized black courts to the Canadian judicial system, funding for black businesses, mental health professionals, parents, parental supports, court workers, and early career lawyers. Now, listen to this. The federal minimum wage, the authors said, should be raised to $21 an hour, and a Canada livable income of $9,000 for all adults in poverty, time frame unspecified, should be introduced. A safe supply of drugs, meanwhile, should be expanded. So we've heard a lot about universal basic income as the Liberals are looking for their new leader. It's been suggested by Mark Carney. A report came out, I think, last week saying it would help with our social programs if we had a universal basic income. And now the Liberals have released this, saying that they would like to see a Canada livable income, particularly for people of color in this country, which is bribing people to get their votes. It's disgusting. And the timing of this is dubious. Now, let me ask you a question. Why are there more Black and Indigenous people in prison? The basic reason would be the fact that they commit more crimes. So instead of finding out why they're committing more crimes and trying to cut back on that, they're trying to cut down on the number of people who go to jail and prison in this country, meaning people will not be convicted of crimes if they're of a particular skin color. Meaning, if you're a white person, you're more likely to go to jail in Canada simply because of your skin color. Now, how racist is that? Now, if you use the same logic, why are there more men in prison than women? Because men commit more crimes than women do. I've seen that there's 21 men in prison compared to women. Should we be having a special man incarceration program in Canada? I mean, it uses the same logic. Jamil Javani last year, MP from Durham, he talked about this, goes back to July 8th. Trudeau Liberals have released a so-called Black Justice Strategy report recommending radical policies that will lead to more crime, drugs, and chaos. Liberals must reject these troubling recommendations and fix the justice system that Trudeau has broken. And he's got a full thread there. And I'm going to put links to all of these articles down below in the description. But this is disgusting. And the timing, again, of this is dubious. Now, the question has to be, if this is asked of all the Liberals, of course, they're going to be in lockstep with discriminating against, and I'm going to say it, folks, call me a racist if you like, I don't care. You're going to discriminate against white people because of this. And then they're going to ask Pure Polya of this, and he's going to be forced to say that he's in favor of this, or they're going to call him a racist if he disagrees with this new Canada Black Justice Strategy of the Liberal Party. The fact that they're rolling this out when we have no government in right now, when we're likely to have an election right now, it's stunning. Race has been injected into the election campaign by the Liberal Party of Canada. They are disgraceful for doing this. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. I appreciate you watching. Please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.